Seriously. X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show.
Like I didn't know that was coming. Look, can't this wait till after school tomorrow?
Welcome to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show, and no, it can't wait till after school, but luckily, you can still listen to us tomorrow after school, if you so choose.
Yeah! Woohoo! Yes!
I know, it makes me want to cheer too. And who am I? Well, I am one of your hosts,
Let me see what you've got that's so cool.
Quicksilver, and I have, what do I have? It's cool. I have a cat. Proof for you audio listeners there. And with me, as always, is my co-host.
I'm through holding back just to make guys like you look good.
Whoa, coming out. He's coming out hot tonight. Ever-Andre Daniels.
That's right. I'm here. I'm clear. I like X-Men.
Me too. And we are here to talk about some X-Men tonight here on X-Rated Evolution. And we're going to talk about Season 1, Episode 5, Speed and Spyke. Are you happy? Are you excited? Your favorite guys here, Andre.
Who's that? Toad?
Quicksilver.
Who?
Quicksilver.
I don't think I've ever mentioned Love and Quicksilver before in this show.
Well, I think you might have.
It's not like he was my
Maybe.
second favorite X-Men or anything when we did our mutant run.
Exactly. And this one's written by Bob Forward and Rick Unger and directed by Gary Graham.
Bob Forward. But there's no way Bob Forward's a real name.
You don't think that's a real name?
It'd be Bob's Forward. It's ridiculous.
All right. Well, I'm going to bring him on the show and you can ask
No,
him.
I'm sure it's a real name. I'm not going to insult the guy. But
I'll just be like, hey, Bob, thanks for being on the show. You'll be like, that's not your real name.
Jacques Hughes.
Exactly. Well, whether it is or not, he wrote this episode along with Rick Unger, who's been all over this first season here. Now, the funny thing about this now, if you look up, well, you know what? Maybe I'll save that for X points. All right. What's up, Andre? What's up with you?
Not much. How was your Halloween?
Very fun. Me and the almost 4-year-old went out trick or treating, and she just sprinted from house to house. Like
You
she was
didn't come to
cutting across
my
lawns.
house.
No, I didn't. But I didn't want to ruin your Halloween of no children showing up at your door.
I want children to show up. I love when kids come, but no kids this year either.
Stop moving into the boonies, I guess.
Just sat there and watched a horror movie with some friends. Like a loser.
That sounds terrible. But no, it was good. Yeah, it's good. What'd you watch?
I like having kids. Oh, I'm going to save that for my recommendation later. So
Fair enough.
never
Well,
mind.
we're saving everything for later in the show, so tonight. So maybe we should just get into it. But Halloween was great. I hope everyone out there, all the X-Goons, enjoyed their Halloween. Got lots of candy, dressed up as X-Men.
I was going to say, if you dressed up as X-Men, send us photos. We'd love to see them.
Yeah, do it. Do that, and we'll put you up
But
there
now-
with Lupita Nyong'o and AJ Locasco, who won Halloween, as far as I'm concerned. Especially Lupita. My God, she made a good storm. Too
Well,
bad
of course
she's
she
already
did.
in the MCU. Oh well.
Yeah, it was super cool. She looks really good.
I mean, she's kind of small in stature to play Storm, but still,
She's a very small woman.
yeah. So probably wouldn't work. But she looked great on Halloween.
She could play
All right, well,
Rogue
what?
Sister, who apparently is a character now on this show.
What?
Isn't that who Evan's mom is?
You mean Storm Sister?
Or what did I say? Rogue, yeah, sorry. Whoops.
Yeah, you confused the shit out of me with that
Yeah,
one. I
yeah.
was like, did we watch the same episodes? I didn't see a Rogue Sister.
Yeah, it was my bad. So
But yeah. Yep. Exactly.
yeah, it
So,
was good
Good
Halloween.
stuff to yeah,
Get
it's
stuff.
good.
You get stuff to say.
No, I mean, not about Halloween. I mean, we canceled that hold up episode and all that. That's kind of lame, but maybe we'll
That
get around
sucks.
to it eventually.
I watched all those movies for nothing.
Yeah, well, they were good.
They were good, actually. I was glad I watched Overlord again because I had zero memory of it until I watched it a second time. It was a fun movie.
I liked it too. Like a good war movie. It's not a good zombie movie. It's a good war movie.
No, but it's a good horror movie. I mean, there's some pretty good moments in it when Buddy, starts when Buddy is infected with the thing the first time in the attic. That's a pretty great scene. And I like that actor. He was on the Shield, played Fitz.
Oh yeah, he's good.
But yeah, it was good. It was good. But yeah, no, it sucks. I'm gonna miss Hold Up. I like it. Hopefully, it comes back.
Yeah, we'll be back eventually. I'm certain. And if not, you and I'll do it.
When am I gonna have fucking time for that? I barely have time for this.
I don't know. You're gonna have to.
I'm actually working as I'm talking to you right now. So
what? I am
Kind of.
insulted. I demand your full focus, and so do the ex-goons.
Oh, you got it. You got it. So it's all
Well, good, because you got to take us through the episode. So you just go right ahead.
The X-Men meets Quicksilver and Spyke. The end. It's good. It's good. It's good talk.
All right, I give that a 10 out of 10.
Thank you. Concise.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. All right. You want to get into it? You want to get into how this thing is?
Yeah. Let's get into her.
Too busy trying to find a photo of this guy in line. He's like, somebody's like doing my other show. Doing my other show and talking with these people, sometimes just finding a photograph of them to use in the graphic, when I post it, is tough.
Send me who you need. I have my ways.
To get a photo of them? I have them on the show. I'm just looking for a photo.
Yeah.
This particular photo is of...
I'll find the photo. I'm a resourceful fellow.
Yeah, well, Inaki Miranda doesn't have that many photos online.
I've seen several pictures of it.
Well, they're all in black and white, and they're not quite perfect. Like, I don't know. They don't really work for the aesthetic that I have of the show. I talked to him today, by the way.
Oh, wow. How'd that go?
Good. And I talked to somebody really cool on Saturday.
Was it me?
No, Inaki's actually super cool. That sounds like I'm not.
I know. You were totally just bashing.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking that. Not at all. Inaki was awesome as well. But I spoke with J.M. DeMatteis.
Oh, you did.
On Saturday, yeah, which is amazing.
Did you contain your fandom?
I think I got it reined in pretty good.
All right. That's good.
I think so.
When you're releasing that one?
Well, there's a bunch of episodes ahead of him. I think today was Steve Binu.
Yeah, it was.
Which is a great episode. Yeah, I didn't get
a beer with that guy like 10 minutes into the podcast.
I didn't get a commentary from you on it, so I wasn't sure if you liked it or not.
No, it was good.
Usually you message me the same morning to tell me you listened to it and what you thought of it.
It's just been a busy day.
Well, next week's
episode... I kind of have a cold, so I kind of feel like shit too.
Yeah, me too. I think we'll all get over that. Next week's episode is Mike McKenna.
Mark McKenna, yep.
What did I say? Mark McKenna?
Mike. You said Mike. It's Mark.
Well, then I better edit the title of this website of this podcast going out.
You might want to.
Yeah, so you might have to. How did that happen?
What would you do without me, Andre? I'm telling you.
I don't know, man. Fucking curl up and die, apparently.
Guess so.
Shit, I got this wrong on everything.
Uh-oh.
Not everything, just the title for the episode, so it's a good thing I got that fixed. And then after that, it's JM. So soon, but not like 2 weeks' time, I guess, will be that episode. So
fun.
Yeah.
All
exciting.
Looking forward on the Graphic Histories podcast.
The Graphic Histories Podcast.
I guess
that was your plug. We just.
I guess you don't have to talk about that at the end of the episode. Then
No, that was it.
Funny. All right, well, that's fine.
Check that out.
Now I'm super concerned about not fixing all that, but anyway, I guess I'll have to do that later. Okay.
Yeah.
Today's episode
I'll remind you.
Is Speed and Spyke.
Yep, sure is.
Well, we see Aurora Monroe at a high school basketball game watching her nephew, as we come to learn, Evan Daniels, play. The coach makes Pietro Maximoff, his co-star in the basketball team, pass ball to Evan, and Evan makes a winning basket, but gets knocked down. As he falls, spikes start to come out of his arms, but nobody really notices. He tries to hide it, but Storm manages to catch a glimpse of it.
I don't know how nobody noticed, but fine.
I know. It's very obviously like giant spikes come out of his elbow and nobody notices.
And he rips up the court and nobody notices there's a huge gully in the court now. But
they're just also wrapped up in the excitement of the basketball game.
It was very exciting.
It was very exciting. Later, Pietro and Avon argue in the locker room who's a better ball player. Storm walks in. Apparently, it's okay to just walk into a boys' locker room unimpeded. To talk
Seems
to
like
Evan.
that boy has been competing with you ever since you were babies.
Yes, it seems like they have a
long-time rivals.
Yes, and she later at home tries to talk to him into coming to Xavier Institute. And he asks her to wait until the next morning to talk to his parents about it. And then
Hey, Auntie O, what's up?
she gets contacted by Charles and he tells her that Jean and Scott are coming to help. And they also tell her that Cerebro picked up another mutant at the basketball game. So it's funny because it's like there's only two. So like we know that like Evans and we know enough about Mutantdom to know that the Quicksilver's the extra mutant. But like in that whole crowd full of people, there wasn't one other mutant hanging around, just watching some kid. Seems like mutants are like what's the ratio to mutant? Like one out of every how many people are mutants?
Like million or something. Like it's not many.
Oh really? Okay. Well that's fair then. That's okay. That's a fair comment. If
I
that's
mean,
the case,
it's gone up and down. Like it started slower, and then there were times in Marvel where it kind of went crazy, and mutants kind of exploded for a while. Radiation.
Yeah, well, it was everywhere at one time. So watch out for that radiation. That's funny. Radiation. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's pretty funny. Quicksilver's just like pretending to be slow, so he can actually play on the basketball.
Yeah,
game.
and he's like frustrated because he can't use his powers to the extent that he knows he can use his powers. So that's interesting too. But
yeah, which would be kind of frustrating. Well, he's always frustrated. I love when he becomes Quicksilver and he just starts talking fast too. He's just like when he gives up the charade.
It's kind of got to be like there's an episode of Justice League, and I think it's Justice League Unlimited. It must be. I think it's near the end of the series, or maybe it's when Justice League became Justice League Unlimited. Let's get in some cat eating a dish, batting a dish around over there.
Yep.
Sounds like that's what it sounds like to me.
It is.
So, like there's an episode where Superman has like a one-on-one fight with Darkseid, and he has a little monologue before they begin fighting where he says like, I have to hold back. My whole life is holding back. Like if I let myself, if I don't even keep myself in check for a split second, I could do it like so much destruction to the planet. I could just smash buildings, like kill people. So it's like living in a world of tissue paper for him. And he's like, and he says, but you can take it, can't you, big boy? And then he kind of gets to open up, and it's like a really cool moment where like they just had this insane fight where Superman just doesn't hold back and like with Darkseid, and it's super cool. And it kind of reminded me a little bit of that, like how you kind of like if you have to restrain yourself your entire life and you finally get to open up, it must be a big event.
Well, that's why they say he's such a dick too. He's just like frustrated and bored all the time because he has to slow everything down for other people, conversations, thoughts. Like, yeah,
he's just like
being a speedster is weird.
He's just like, woo, I'm gonna make a name for myself out there.
Woo, gonna make a name for myself. Yeah.
Did I send you that meme from that? It was like this. There's a scene from Euphoria. I've never watched the show, but where like Sydney Sweeney's character is like getting ready in the mirror, and she's like kind of like smiling, but she's like crying because she's upset about something. Once again, I haven't seen the show, but she's trying to keep it together. And there's this like meme where it's at the bottom. It says like my girlfriend trying to get ready for a dinner party or whatever. When what does it go? Something like that. And it's like my girlfriend getting ready for the double date while I'm practicing my game impersonation in the shower, and you can just hear it's just like her trying like half crying, trying to like comb her hair and put herself together. But then in the background you could hear like the shower running, and this guy going, woo, woo, I'm gonna make a name for myself out here. Woo, woo, I'm gonna make a name for myself. Like he's just trying all the different embarrassed like dinner. It fucking made me laugh so hard.
I saw a meme that Channing Tatum and what's her name, Zoe Kravitz broke up because she was sick of him talking like Gambit 24/7. That was a meme.
Did they actually break up?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, that's a shame. So I haven't seen that movie they made together. Apparently, it's really good.
Yeah, I haven't either.
And there's man, celebrity like relationships are so funny.
Yeah, they are.
It's insane how fast they go through them. Like Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez are getting divorced again. It's like they're married for 2 years again, and then divorced. Like Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton get back together like 8 times. Anyway, So yeah. So
Woo!
then
I'm about to make a name for myself. Yeah, I gotta get that clip. I need that clip.
Oh, you could. Oh, yeah. Well,
I play that all the time.
Sure, it's not that hard to get. In fact, I got the 4K of Deadpool and Wolverine over there.
Oh, do you?
I sure do.
Comes out on streaming in a couple weeks.
You don't need that streaming for those. You need that sweet physical disc. You need to hold in your hands. You gotta caress it. It's actually got a really nice cover. The cover's really cool. Then, second, I don't want you to see my pajama pants. That's all right. Look at him in despair, internet.
I got kids. I can't pay $40 for a movie.
Look how nice this design is.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It's very cool. What do you got in the extra? There's a gag reel, deleted scenes. Madonna.
I'm sure there's lots of those.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, buy it, everybody. It was a great movie. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I'm gonna make a name for myself now.
Make a name for myself. Yeah.
I'll see if I can find it because it's so funny. I'm gonna make a name for myself. I'm gonna make a name for myself. It's so dumb, but it's so funny.
It's pretty great.
Yep. All right. So
where do we leave off here?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe this clip will help us.
You're gonna remember this game for a long time.
His dad's voice was odd to me. Every time he'd say anything, I would just laugh.
Yeah, his dad was kind of strange, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So
a long time. It's like he's got this kind of like.
Next to school, Evan finds his lockers been broken into again. Pedro offers to loan him some money and use it to bait the thief.
It's like a coin. Like what thief is coming after this coin?
Well, it's become to find out later. It's not about the money.
Yeah, I know. It's not, but it's not good bait. That's all I'm saying.
I always find it funny too. We'll get to that moment in a sec. But anyway, Gene, Scott, and Storm talk with Evan's parents, but Evan joined the X-Men. Evan's upset about it because he just kind of doesn't want to stand out, wants to do his own thing. But then at school, he when he goes to see what the thief is going to catch the bait that keeps taking from his locker, he sees how fast there's this gust of speed and all the locks combinations are going at the same time, and the locker opens, and then he discovers that Pietro, his friendly rival, is actually a not so friendly rival and has speed powers. Calls himself Quicksilver and has been stealing his money by using the speed powers to open locks. I always find it funny when like people do because the Flash does this all the time, where it's like, they use their speed to do something like try every combination in the world and get the door to open. Like the keypad can't handle that. You can't hit just because you're moving the buttons that fast. Doesn't mean the keypad's gonna be able to keep up. Like all those lockers would probably break if you spun them so fast, back and forth with every possible combination. Like you might as well just use your speed power to break the lock. Like what's?
Yeah, it's pretty silly.
And like whenever,
like the outfit, made it myself. Took about a quarter second.
Yeah,
I like that line.
Yeah, about a quarter second. It's a nice outfit.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But why would you want to rip me off?
Gigs, man, for the challenge. Look, when you live as fast as I do, there ain't enough things to occupy my time. I gotta entertain myself.
It's honest.
He could read every book in the world. Probably is he doing that? Like, I mean,
you think those pages could flip that fast? You'd tear those pages right out of that book. You're right. Like super speed doesn't work for many things.
Yeah, but you can still.
You can't watch a movie in super speed. I mean, I guess you could fast forward it, but you wouldn't hear anything. So, like,
you can do double speed on movies. I think you can definitely do it in audiobooks. But I don't know why people do that because it kind of robs it of what the inflection and stuff what the person's saying. I get that you're trying to do it faster.
You have to cram it in for a class or something, maybe.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem as nice, It's not.
No.
Anyway. So So then Evan basically Pedro wrecks the lockers and leaves Evan there to take the blame. Evan gets put in jail. I guess the police just put kids in jail now. He's still a teenager. I guess he's a black teenager, so maybe that's the difference. Yeah.
He sounds super young too, like way younger than like all the other X-Men.
Maybe he's actually a kid actor that does his voice.
Could be Neil Dennis. I don't know how old he was when he voiced the role.
Then they go to the school and Scott says that Xavier could Or Xavier can use his influence to get Evan out of school, which apparently Xavier can pull strings at the police department. If Evan will give the school a chance,
Holy shit, that's going on my X points later.
What's that?
Interesting. I'm not going to tell you. It's going on my X points later.
Are you doing other things while we're talking about this episode, sir?
No.
Listen, I saw your acting work as Jesus. I know what's good. I know you.
You've seen it now.
I've seen it now. I've seen it.
Hey, you sent me a compliment. You said my acting was good and the rest wasn't.
By far, in between in that trailer you sent me, your acting. It was like Laurence Olivier in like a class of toddlers, like it was like it. It was great. Like your acting was good. It was very, very good. But the sheer and man, I don't want to like this seems mean, but just how not great everyone else was really made you look so much better. It's like, you know, if it's like if somebody's mean to you all the time and then they compliment you once, it just means all the much more because you've never gotten, you know, you're in like a sea of or a desert of compliments.
Yeah,
it's horrifying. Yes.
Well,
yes. So
do what I can.
That's good. You're a damn fine Jesus. It made me want to see more of that. Want to see that whole movie, just to see how that story plays out. But anyway, the X-Men talk about Evan wanting revenge. Evan is agreeing like everything's fine, but Wolverine can sense that, you know, what boys want when they're wronged is revenge, and then he's probably going to be looking for it. Magneto and Mystique seem to have the same idea. Back at the school, they talk about wanting Quicksilver to join the Brotherhood. And they arrange a basketball game between Bayville and Evan's old school, so that the two,
some New York school they call it.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but so the two can compete. Obviously, Evan training in the Danger Room. Kitty ends the session and tells Evan the last minute game has been scheduled. He's needed at school, where him and Pietro, Jean, and Scott show up to help. Quicksilver, they basically end up getting a big fight where Quicksilver ends up wrecking Main Street. And the X-Men team up together to take him down.
There's something about Magneto and Mystique plotting to
like a basketball game. I know. It's like, we must make a basketball game. Like this guy's like an Omega level mutant that could like total the world if he wanted to, and they're like, we must make these teenagers fight each other in a basketball game.
You're being real noisy tonight, Lulu. It's very cute though. She's just knocking a big leg piece across the floor, but you know, it's very distracting. But yeah, like there's some things about the show I haven't gotten used to yet, and maybe I never will, and that's kind of one of them.
Well, this movie, like I'll talk about it at the end of the episode, but anyway, let's get through it. So that Evan manages to stop Pietro by using his bones that he can shoot out of his body to
marrow powers,
pin him to a wall. Yes, he's very marrow-like. But then Pietro goes to jail, and Evan gets cleared of all his charges. But Pietro is saved and is rescued by Magneto, who offers him a role in the Brotherhood. Next one, the X-Men are hanging at the pool.
Oh, I might have a clip for that actually. There.
It is good to see you again, Pietro. Even under such distressing circumstances.
So he knows him.
Yeah, and Pietro recognizes him too.
Like I think he is. I think he's probably his kid.
But it's not really worded like he's his kid, is it?
Well, he
wouldn't say
Magneto
son.
also says before, he says he's been watching him for a long time. So it's like, why would he?
Yeah, but you're once again, he does say we see you again, right? So there's that. But
ew, that stuff like totally plugs your arteries, you know.
I appreciate your concern.
The dinner scene was kind of funny.
Right. Yeah. Then basically we see Evan accidentally pop when they're all hanging out at the pool. Evan accidentally pops a float because of his bone powers, and Xavier tells Storm that Evan fits in just fine. Yes, we do also learn, which I kind of glossed over, that Storm is Evan's aunt. And Auntie O, in that her sister somehow doesn't have the mutant gene, but apparently it activated in.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You can skip generations.
End of episode.
Yeah. End of episode. All right. Well, moving on. Made good time on that one.
Well, it wasn't like
a lot of basketball games.
Super dense. Yeah, it was a lot of basketball games. A lot of basketball.
Yeah. Who's talking? Oh, hey Sam. What's up? What do we got here? I always forget what X. No. Yes. Do we do the X points first or the rating? No, it's the rating.
Ratings
All right,
first.
Let's rate this beast. Oh no!
Each of us will have to look into his own
That's
heart
the old
and
one.
decide.
Forget you heard that, everybody.
Decide.
I have a cold. That's my excuse.
I'm on a horse.
The baby germs are finally coming home from school.
Yes, I guess you're in that world now, aren't you?
Been waiting. So, ratings. You go first.
7. I wasn't blown away. It's fine.
No, neither was I.
I mean, it's cool to see a new character, I guess, but it just seems like they just kind of mashed together combinations of other characters.
I liked Quicksilver.
Yeah, I'll get to max points, but yeah. Anyway, 7.
Yeah, I know you're all worked up there, Lulu. Come here. Did you get into some catnip or something? I didn't give it to you. Oh, you knocked Nimrod over. That's not cool. All right. All right. I'm going to give this one a 6. Same thing. Didn't blow me away. I liked Quicksilver, but I don't know. Spyke. We'll see. We'll probably warm up to him or something. But he's like a brand new character. Because they have a lot of work to do on that character, I think, to establish it for sure, being a brand new character. Yeah, 6 and 7. Yeah. Probably definitely my least favorite of the season so far.
Yeah, I get that.
So, let's move on to our X points. All right, X points. Well, all right, I can go first, I suppose. So, funny thing. Neil Dennis, the voice of Spyke, actually played, because we know that Magneto is voiced by Teal'c from Stargate SG-1, Christopher Judge, and Teal'c's son in Stargate SG-1, Ryak, was played by Neil Dennis. So how about that? So, wow. So he would have been like not young when he was voicing this role. He must have a young kid voice that he can.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. All right. My point is, I think I figured out why this show is resonating with me as well. So far, anyway, it's that it's like a teen drama show first and a superhero show second. Yeah. And like the other one, and the teen drama shows have never really been my favorite thing in the world.
They're kind of my least favorite thing in the world.
Yeah, like I don't watch a lot of them for obvious reasons, but I don't know why. It just never resonated with me in that level. So
they're all the same. It's all just like melodrama and heightened drama.
And then they get in superhero battles and all that stuff happens later, and that's fine. But it's like, I don't know. It's just the other one was just like pure superhero-ness all the way through, and that's kind of what I want more of. And maybe we're going to get there as time goes on, but it's a lot of this like this hanging out at school stuff. And I know the superhero stuff kind of bleeds into that, but I don't know. It's just not. It's not hitting. It's not hitting as good as the
people say it gets better.
I'm sure the people are right.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. Too.
Sometimes it takes a while before someone finds their stride. And when they do, ain't no one going to break their stride. Ain't no one going to hold them down. Whoa. I've got to keep on moving.
Other than my next point, other than Spyke being kind of like Marrow, because he has Marrow powers, he's sort of other characters kind of mashed together, like Mizunari, obviously, but he's sort of like these two characters in this episode, Spyke and Quicksilver, are sort of Mizunari broken into two. They want the nephew of Storm, and they want the Speedster, which is Mizunari, but they didn't want him to be the Speedster, I guess. So they just broke him into two. and he's also like maybe slightly based off a character named David Monroe, which is I think Storm's cousin in the comics, but he's just like a young guy. So yeah. Oh my, there it is, finally. Didn't seem like it was going to happen, did it?
Remember earlier when I talked to you about this?
Yeah, and I told you it didn't happen all day, and I was right.
And I said it's probably going to happen during the show because it always does.
Yep, I didn't disagree. But it won't happen again. I got it on mute. Yeah, back to you.
All right. Well, apparently, original designs for this character had him different. He was originally designed as a character called Armadillo. He had white skin and black hair. And then eventually they changed him into a black character with cornrows, and then they still kept the name Armadillo. And then eventually changed it to Spyke. So he could have had Armadillo instead of Spyke. I don't know if he would have been Storm's nephew or if that all came later, but in alternate universe somewhere.
Well, probably not if he was white.
No, probably not. No, but maybe when he was the Armadillo the second time around, you know.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, back. Okay, here's one. Quicksilver seems kind of OP for these crews so far. Like, I don't think he needs the rest of the Brotherhood. I don't think he needs.
He couldn't even defeat 3 X-Men on his own.
But like, I don't think Blob, Toad, and Avalanche are going to be a lot of help for him for stuff that he can do, considering what he can do. And
maybe
there's not many of the X-Men that can hang with him.
Be less lonely, maybe. You know,
he's the biggest threat here. Is what I'm saying.
I think he's just lonely. He'd be lonely. He wants some friends. He wants to hang out.
Well, he can hang out with Toad.
Well, one of my next point, my third one, will be: did you notice the music that was playing when they were at the pool at the end?
No.
How did you not notice it?
Maybe I did.
There's like a slow, different, almost acoustic version of the X-Men 97 theme playing while they're in the pool.
Oh, I thought it was actually a slow acoustic version of this theme for this show because they're similar.
It was the X-Men 97 theme. Very obviously.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Crazy. I'm going to go back and listen to that. I did notice that, but I thought it was actually just.
You could probably use the music for something on here if you wanted to.
Because they're almost the same thing. Like this one's down and X-Men's just down and they just add another note in. Like it's the same thing. But yeah,
but they do sound different enough.
Yeah.
So it's unmistakable. It's
very cool.
Thing, yeah.
Nice homage there then.
Yeah.
To a thus far superior series.
I'm an idiot when trying to find pictures of Inaki. I'm on his Facebook. I can just take him off that.
That's what I was going to do and prove and tell you I was a genius.
No, you're not a genius. You just did what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck.
Here's another one. Magneto. Like, I don't get this whole keeping him in shadows. Like, they kind of make him like Dr. Claw so far. He just keeps reminding me of
I'll get you, Gadget.
Yeah, I get Dr. Claw vibes from Magneto. I don't know why they keep keeping him in shadows when everyone knows who he is. It's Magneto. What are you doing? This first season's a bit odd in some of the choices. But it has to be established. Right? Exactly. It has to establish this world, and it's so different from what we're used to.
But it's doing a good job of having its own voice. I guess it's important to realize that when you're doing a new show, you have to, it has to be its own thing. You can't just copy everything the previous show did, because then what's the point? But it's, as far as giving it its own style and its own voice, I think it does a pretty good job of that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
I do think it'll get better. You got another point?
Do I got another point? Well, yeah. What is it?
Don't die. Andre's dying, everyone.
There's a weird goof in this episode. Where it shows them having dinner, and it's a very high scene where you're looking down at the whole table. And then later on, Kurt teleports and is hanging upside down from the chandelier. But you didn't see the chandelier earlier, in the same shot. So they just added a chandelier. Maybe Xavier has one that drops from the ceiling when he needs it for comedic purposes. Nightcrawler's acting up. I better have the Nightcrawler's acting up. I better have the chandelier descend from the ceiling.
That is pretty funny. All right. Well, my next point is this. Okay. So if you look up, like, none of these writing credits we've seen so far have Bob Skier on any of it. Now, he did send us his series Bible, but if you look up Spyke, it says created by Bob Skier. So he must be behind the scenes there. And he did tell us that he was, and that there are certain people that say he wasn't, but he's clearly, there's Bob Skier written all over a lot of this stuff. And that's one of them. Another one is they say Xavier instead of Xavier, which was another hang up of Bob's. So, he's definitely floating around behind the scenes on this thing. Last point.
Yeah, it's just weird to me that, like, Pietro is like taken out of prison by Magneto, which would be considered an escape. Yet he just gets to go to school and no one comes back looking for him later. Like he just like
school.
Yeah, well, somebody just breaks him out of prison. He just gets to go about living his life. It's like, he still broke out of prison. That's not legal.
Oh my! Another thing too is this that makes you wonder. Where was it? Oh, yeah. See, now mute's causing a problem. All right, here.
So we'll make you a deal. The professor will use his influence to get you out of here, and you give the Institute a shot. What do you say?
Now, by influence, do they mean his telepathic powers or that he's rich?
Yeah, I wondered about that too.
Also,
it's kind of extortion, right? You're like, listen, we'll get you out of this bad situation if you do that thing we want you to do. It's not really, the most superhero-y way to go about this. But you're muted, Devin. I can't hear you. Devin, you're still muted. Okay.
Lulu hit my mic cord.
Blame poor Lulu.
Bye, Lulu. All right, moving on. Let's do it. Oh, I forgot to pull out my issues. Oh well. Oh my God, the mute button.
Hey, check it.
Hey, check it. This is our comic reminiscences and recommendations segment. I can go first because I forgot to pull it out of the box anyway. But, well, for one thing, let's probably get something on the wall there. Yeah, there you go. X Factor #1 back there. Or not #1, X Factor number 71, the all-new team that Quicksilver was indeed on. So you can check that out. Though he's not on that cover. Interesting. Well, he joins that team eventually. Maybe not in that issue. So you can read some of that. But I was going to say, for a little Quicksilver reading, read House of M. I've probably recommended it before, but for different reasons. But I think it's near the end. I think it's like issue 7, where you actually find out that Quicksilver is to blame for all the shenanigans that Scarlet Witch gets the blame for. Because he told her to do it. He told her to remake the world and like screw everybody over. and then later, like die or almost dies, and that drives her over the edge even farther. Like, it all comes back to Quicksilver. So, watch what you say to a Scarlet Witch Quicksilver. Back to you.
Back to me. Well, yeah, during the film festival, or not, what's the film festival? No, I just went to go do a double bill in Halifax one day. When I was there, I went over to one of my favorite shops, which is the.
Didn't come visit me.
I might be going there Friday. A friend of mine wants to see Tarkovsky's the Parkland, I think, is doing one of those when they show you a ballet or something. Ballet, yeah, and a buddy of mine wants to watch Tarkovsky Swan Lake, I guess, is going on, so I might go with him to watch that. But anyway,
a couple orchestral performances I wanted to check out like that, but just haven't gotten around to it.
I've seen like some theater shows. I saw King Lear with Ian McKellen, and I saw the Frankenstein play that I ended up doing a version of here in town. there as well. So that's kind of one of the first time I saw it many years ago. But anyway, I went over to one of my favorite stores in Halifax. Quickly is becoming the Bookmark, which is at the end of Spring Garden Road.
I've been there a long time.
And beside it is one of my favorite places to eat, which is the Korean fried chicken place, Chiking, which is excellent. But the bookstore has they have a really cool selection of really well curated selection of all kinds of crazy cool books. I picked up the new Annihilation book by Jeff Vandermeer. It's the fourth one, I guess. He had written the initial trilogy, but he'd written a fourth. But anyway, I bought a bunch of stuff. But one of the other things oh my god. One of the things I bought while I was there was this.
That was funny that time, though. That was a good one.
Yeah, it was great. It's really funny. Which is Charles Burns' new book, Final Cut. So you're familiar with his work of The Black Hole, which is probably one of his most famous graphic novels. It's another one of his sort of surreal, strange stuff. But it's super good, very interesting about a bunch of teens in the 70s trying to make an indie film. And it's about growing up, coming of age, kind of learning about yourself. And it's a very human story, but it's very well done. It's beautifully illustrated. If you like Charles Burns, if you like cool stories, check out the Final Cut.
Do it up.
Do it up.
All right. Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go. Here I go. Here I go.
Audiovisual Club with Andre. What's going on in the old AV Club today?
Sometimes when you love movies as I do, and you watch movies, you think these movies are good. Sometimes you watch these movies and you think this movie is fun, and they're not always the same thing. Not always the good movie fun, but often, fun movies can be good.
That's how a lot of people who aren't as big of a fan as us slandered Deadpool Wolverine. They're like, yeah, it's fun, not good. I would disagree with that, but that's how a lot of people took their takeaway from that movie was.
I mean, yeah, it depends what you're looking for in your movie, right? I mean, if it's that movie very much is made for, it appeals to people that like the comics, and if you're not one of those, then maybe that's not the case. You may get the fun of it without getting all the references, but I don't know. I thought it was both good and fun, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
But the movie we watched on Halloween, so we had some friends over, and we were trying to decide what to watch for the group, and I'd give them a few suggestions, and then this was one.
Didn't have me over.
You're welcome to come. You're trick-or-treating with your kid.
I know, it was great.
So one of the things that I opted for was one of these options, and one of the group members said, well, we got to watch that one for sure. And I thought, why not? So what we watched was let's see how quickly you can guess it. It came out in 2005. That's not enough. It's a horror movie.
No, it's not enough.
Directed by Yam Colette Sarah. Never heard of them before.
That's not going to help me.
Starring Jared Padalecki from Supernatural.
I don't know them or that show.
Starring Chad Michael Murray from One Tree Hill.
I don't know him either. This is not going to go well for me.
Starring Alicia Cuthbert of Popular Mechanics for Kids.
I do know Alicia Cuthbert.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Do you know this movie?
Wife of former NHLer Dion Phaneuf, or maybe he's still playing. I don't know.
She's married to Dion Phaneuf?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. She's on like 24, Popular Mechanics for Kids, The Girl Next Door, bunch of cool big stuff.
Yeah, I think they live on PEI.
Really?
I think so.
Well, she's never come to one of my wrestling matches. So.
She's dead to me.
All right. So none of those have helped?
No.
Those
I haven't seen it. I don't think I've ever seen Alicia Cuthbert in a horror movie.
What if I said it also starred mid-2000s minor celebrity Paris Hilton? Would that help?
Definitely haven't seen it.
All right. It's called House of Wax.
Oh, the remake of House of Wax.
The remakes of House of Wax. Of course,
I knew that existed, but I have quite a lot of reverence for the original, so I didn't really want to see this one.
It was produced by Robert Zemeckis, oddly enough. But look, it's a great no. Is it fun? Yes. And in a way, watching it with friends is probably the best way to watch it. But there's some actually truly impressive effects in this. Like the entire house is actually made of wax. So like at one point when the house starts burning down and melting, the walls, the staircases, everything, the floors, it's kind of impressive. It's neat.
That looks cool, but that's a stupid idea. Like, let's just take the title even further. It's just like that's so a Hollywood remake thing to do.
Yeah, no,
like
I said,
they pick up on the wrong things. They pick up on like, anyways. It's my complaints with like the old Fox X-Men movies too. They just pick up on all the wrong beats. It's like those aren't the important things. You pick up on the important things. It's not that the house be made of wax. It's that he has a wax. He makes wax figures and then turns people into them. Ugh. But anyway,
yes, that also is there's some pretty like good gore stuff like that. Like the Jared Padalecki's character is one of the first people to go through the process, and like his friends,
he gets waxed.
His friend sees him sitting at a piano in the wax museum and recognizes him, and then tries to help him by like getting the wax off him, not realizing the wax is him, so he's just peeling off his cheek. Just gore coming off him, and he's like, "Oh, help me, man!" He's just pulling off, and the eyes are like moving because he's still alive under the thing, but the other guy's literally ripping off pieces of his body. It's like terrifying.
That's pretty gruesome.
Yeah, it's very well done. I must say.
All right, fair enough. I may probably never watch it, but maybe I will based on your recommendation.
I mean, watch it with some friends is the best way to do it. I would say.
Okay, if I have to.
If you have friends so inclined to watch, fun horror movies.
Sean Franklin wants to know if we've seen the Paranormal Activity movies. Yes, I saw the first 3. I love the first one. Second one was creepy too because it added the baby element. But, the first one scared the living piss out of me when I first saw it. Like, I was afraid to go to the bathroom for like 24 hours. Like,
really?
Yeah, man. But I was, I don't know how old I was in that game though, but because it was different. Like, I was already grizzled horror movie guy, and then that one came out, and I'm like, that was different. That was kind of creepy. Paranormal Activity.
I watched. I remember the first one. I feel like I probably saw the second one. I don't know if I saw the third one. There's like 8.
The second one, like you see that, like they drag the baby, like the baby out of the crib, the ghost. It's like
there's like 8 of them, so it's really hard to keep track of.
It's like they make too much of everything.
Although one thing I really appreciate about that series is I listened to a podcast with the guy that did the first one, so like the guy that created it essentially, and he literally just made the first one. Got all the money because like it was such a low budget thing that he completely owned, and then was just like, I'm done.
A ton of money.
He's just like, I'm done. He bought like an island, and he just like pissed off. He had no interest in making more.
Probably what I would have done too.
He came back and produced the second one, I think, because the studio wanted him to, just so his name was attached to it. But it made a bunch of money doing that, but then had nothing else to do with it. They make the movies. He just gets to cash the paychecks and live on his little island.
I don't understand, like, these millionaires and billionaires that just keep doing this stupid shit. Like, stop going to work.
Well, it's not about, I always wonder that too, but it's not about money anymore.
It's not. Right? It's about power, and they get. Well, I call it rich disease. They just get into this feedback loop, and they don't understand that they don't need more. They don't have real.
Can you imagine, like if you, even in your life now? I mean, I guess that the nature of humanity is to always want more, but I like to think that I would be able to confine myself to a point where I would I love my house right now. I mean, honestly, if I had billions of dollars, I'd probably buy my neighbor's house and turn it into like a big house. No, just a big place to put all my stuff. So like all my Blu-rays and like my, put a theater there maybe.
That's your podcast studio.
Yeah, a podcast studio, my Blu-ray collection. Maybe
you could start woodworking and making furniture.
I'd probably have a pool and a hot tub and then everything I got now, and then probably just, travel a lot. But I think about that. If you had like $5 million, $4 or $5 million, if you put it in the bank, the interest every month is like $40,000. Yeah. You can make $40,000 a month doing nothing, which is an insane amount of money. Like like you could do all kinds of shit with that, right? Like your house, pay off your house, whatever.
It should be impossible to become not rich once you're rich. It should be impossible.
Oh no, some people are really bad at it.
Yeah, they're really bad at it. But it should be impossible based on the numbers.
In theory, yes.
Yeah.
I once read it. I can't remember what book I read it, but they described wealth as almost like there's like a secret river that only certain people know about. and they go and they drink from the river, and sometimes they'll let you come and have a little bit, a taste of the river, but you can't stay, and that's sort of like wealth. And I was like, I always kind of stuck in my head as how they were that allegory really always stuck in my head. That was interesting.
Oh yeah, man, it's true. Like it's rich disease. Like $1 earned by somebody else is somehow $1 taken away from them. And it's just like you don't need that $1, and it was never your $1.
I don't know. Call me.
We could rant about the rich people. All the rich ex-goons out there, send us money.
Call me a liberal lefty or whatever, but like I just don't think billionaires need to exist in our world. Let's just say you hit 900.
Billionaires really need.
You hit 999 million, and then they give it. Well, and then just name a dog park after you, and 100% tax everything after that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. What do you need more money than that for?
I said that to a buddy of mine the other day, my co-host on the Star Trek show. I'm like, how about 90% tax after 1 million? He's just like, because he's a big old communist, and he's just like, so communism. I'm like, sure, after 1 million.
I know.
Yeah, sure,
I'd even say 100 million. Like that would solve a lot.
Much. That's too much.
No,
100 million is too high.
I think 100 million is fine. I'll take $100
million.
Yeah, I do. I want $200,000 a month in interest that I can as income.
See, you already have rich disease just thinking about it. You're corruptible.
Then I'll go to space. Then I'll start my own rocket ship company and I'll go to space. I got it in check.
Yes, John Franklin. We've both seen Mars Attacks.
We sure have. Great movie.
What's that song that like kills them? It's like this
not that one, is it?
No, it's not. It's not Only You, but it sounds like something like that.
The Martians in Mars Attacks. It's a song that I'm familiar with. It's Indian Love Call by Slim Whitman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a pretty funny movie.
Yep.
Where are we at here? All right.
Slim Whitman.
Let's go to Slim Whitman. Yeah, that name doesn't ring a bell, but a lot of like one-hit wonders and such don't. Maybe it's not even a one-hit wonder. It's just not my style. It's like country or something.
Yeah.
I'd like you to meet someone.
We have a new student. Yeah, what people say that about jazz and cool music all the time. You guys, that says more about the person that says something's like porn than the person who makes the music.
How many jazz records do you own, Devin?
Lots. I mean, I don't have a lot of records. They all fit in like two little bins here.
Well,
here's one right here. Maynard Ferguson Primal Scream.
I'm sure I have more than you, so don't fucking come at me with your jazz elitism.
Well, yeah, because you got a lot more records than me. I don't collect, really.
Well, I'm familiar with jazz, man. I dig jazz. I like jazz. You fear jazz. You see that clip I finally sent you from the
Here's some Al Di Meola.
Jesus Christ. It's a nice one. You seen that clip I sent you from the Mighty Boosh where he's like, you fear jazz, man. He's like, you fear, there's no rules, you fear it. You fear jazz.
Yeah.
You say jazz is like the guy says it's for like mentally damaged like gym teachers or something. I can't remember. He has like some phrase he uses.
I tell people they fear jazz sometimes too.
You fear jazz.
Does it frighten you?
Does it frighten you? Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about our new students that we're bringing to class today. Well, why don't you go first with yours since you sent me your pick first? I didn't load it up yet. I'm going to load it up right now while you talk about your student here.
My student is Vange.
Not really a student, but yeah, go for it.
Well, you said mutant. You said obscure.
I know. Yeah, it doesn't.
Those are my parameters.
Exactly.
Evangeline Whedon, who I'm guessing was given that name as an homage to Joss Whedon, short-sightedly as such, because he's not that popular of a person anymore. But her mutant ability is that when she touches blood, she becomes a dragon.
There's my Vange Whedon hero click.
So just by merely touching blood, she becomes a giant dragon, a huge dragon.
And she's a lawyer.
It's funny because like mutant powers are generally like the way they're described as, depending on what fiction you're following, an evolutionary leap, right? Like some say it's because of genetics altered by radiation, nuclear energy, or the ozone layer, whatever the fuck it was from back in the day. But now it's like their evolution, right?
Yeah,
So
which makes no sense.
What
and it bothers me
possible
to no end.
evolutionary
Nothing with any
reason
mutants.
could turn into a giant?
The evolution thing makes no sense.
I get powers, like I get lifting things
No,
with your mind.
even that doesn't make sense to evolution. Evolution is a response to natural forces and like deprivations and different things. So it's just like if things get drier, you get an adaptation to that. All these various mutant powers aren't an adaptation to anything specific, so it makes no sense. It's not evolution. It never was. That makes no sense.
Yeah,
it's just freaky radiated mutants. That's what they are. Doesn't make as good as Patrick Stewart's speech at the start of a movie that way, but it makes a hell of a lot more damn sense.
Freaky deaky radiation mutants.
And one day there were freaky deaky mutants from the radiation.
And other people
the
didn't
television.
like it. And people didn't like it.
I liked Morphs, or like in the the first episode of X-Men TAS? Yeah, it is, because they're walking into the Sentinel facility, and Rogue's like, Beast, you're smart. What makes us what we're like? He's like, gamma rays. Some say, he never says evolution. He says gamma rays, television, he says.
Oh, right, yeah.
And Morph's like, progress. But, yeah. So, yeah, Van Tweeden, she's their lawyer sometimes. So when Xavier died, she didn't read out the will. She-Hulk did, so maybe some of them don't like her. But she is a lawyer for a lot of mutants. And
She-Hulk was Xavier's lawyer?
Dragon. Yeah, she read out his will.
That's funny. Executive of his estate. Maybe she handles the X-Men stuff, and She-Hulk is Xavier's personal person. But it's funny that Xavier doesn't use a mutant.
Yeah, well, she's probably known She-Hulk a lot longer than Van Tweeden. Or maybe he read her mind and he just doesn't like the cut of her jib.
No, sir. I don't like it.
He's telepath. Yeah, no, sir. Well, sir.
No, sir.
I didn't like it.
No, sir. I don't like it. What's that from? You know
That's
that?
from Ren and Stimpy.
There you go.
How did you feel about that fall, Mr. Horse? How did I feel? Well, sir, I didn't like it. No, I always love that line. I've said that a million times.
It falls down rolls downstairs, a loader in pairs, runs over.
Log. Oh man, I used to kill those.
It's better than bad. It's good. It's log.
Remember when they do those Ren and
Stimpy? I had the.
You probably didn't have cable.
I didn't, but I had the album on CD. My brother had a copy of it or something. And every time I go to spin it in Moncton, they have I think it's like $100 for it. It's sitting on the wall. They have it on vinyl.
What's that?
The Ren and Stimpy album, and I'm always like,
oh, that's not what I was talking about. Interesting. I didn't know they had that.
Had a bunch of the songs in it. The Space Madness one. It's so good.
And then there's the one about like Mounties or something. No, that was the log one, wasn't it?
I used to love Powder Toast Man.
Oh yes, Powder Toast Man, of course.
Do you know that famed comic book writer and Spider-Man author Dan Slott's one of his very first comics was the Powder Toast Man meets Spider-Man comic?
Really?
Dan Slott wrote that.
That he wrote? Did he? I love Dan Slott, best Spider-Man writer of all time.
He also worked, I think, on the that animated Sonic the Hedgehog comic that went on for a million years, the Archie one.
Johnny thought it's funny. I walked up to him and I'm like, man, this is my favorite like Spider-Man one. He's just like, because I am the best. He's just like, I am the best one. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
guys, it's important to be. It's important to be.
He believes in himself.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so my extra student or my new student for today here.
Hello, Lebowski.
Oh, Lebowski's here. Lulu's not the only one showing up tonight.
Hello.
No, she left, which is good because she was being quite rambunctious. So mine is real name Natasha Rapina Cosmar. Are you familiar with Cosmar? And she looks like this.
She a gecko?
No. So her thing, and it's like she's called Cosmar, but it's probably like a playoff of the word Koshmar, which is nightmare I think, in Russian. And so, well, we'll get to her story in a second. But so her whole thing is when she dreams, she alters reality, but it's like it just like creates this kind of bubble, right? Of like reality warp. And if you touch it, you get sucked in, and she can make you a monster. Like, she doesn't do it on purpose, she's dreaming. But also, if you try to telepathically touch her while she's dreaming, you get sucked in. Like, that's what happened to the New Mutants. Karma tried to like touch her mind, and it like sucked all the New Mutants into her delusions. But like, she looked like a normal girl, and then like her mutant powers ended up warping her into this. But I like this look. I always found this look interesting. Like, she's a new character and fairly new, but she's shown up in enough things like New Mutants and stuff that I kind of like this look. It's weird, but it was different. And then but she was tortured by her look because she remembers being a real person too. And so they take her to the Morlock Mask, who can do a bunch of weird manipulations and turn her into this. So she looks mostly normal now. She's like mostly normal body shape anyway, rather than this kind of deformed kind of thing. But and so you just see her eye, which I don't like as much. I like this look, but I understand for the character she feels better like this, and so good for her. But I like this one. So interesting character, Cosmar.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, what else are we gonna do tonight? Well, you call her an early night tonight, maybe even. I don't know. You got anything else to say? Talk about this episode or anything?
I'm okay with early nights. An hour's a pretty good time for a podcast.
I agree, especially with this rather thin episode in a way. All right. Well, what's the homework there, Professor?
Well, your homework is to watch the next episode of this show. The next episode of this show being the episode name, which I'm about to tell you in one moment, is episode number 6, Middleverse.
The drama that you just built up the tension there.
It's just me trying to open up the window that has the episodes in it so I can quickly read it. Middleverse, it's called.
Middleverse.
Yeah, which is an interesting title.
That one sounds interesting. Like they've all just been clear character introduction episodes so far.
Apparently,
they start doing other things.
Oh, hey, buddy. Apparently, the alternate name for this episode was "Pop Goes the Spyke," which is a really dumb.
That's awful.
I know. I'm glad they didn't use it. According to the X-Men Evolution wiki, maybe Bob Skier was behind the scenes going, "That title's awful. Change it."
Maybe they weren't. Yeah, maybe somebody is. Well, we'll talk. We're going to talk to people involved with this show, and we'll have it all figured out by the end of X-Rated Evolution. That's for sure. You can support. And yesterday, the voting closed. We'll find out soon enough if we're one of the top 3 podcasts in Halifax. Gold, silver, or bronze. What do you think, Andre? Is any in our future?
Good question. I don't know. Like, I feel like I mean, we're not really Halifax specific, Like,
I am.
You are, but like it's like we talk about Halifax that often or anything. I guess.
Well, but none of them do.
Prerequisite. No, that's fair.
Yeah, none of them do.
What was the other one? It was the what competition?
I can tell you.
One of them, the Halifax crime one, because that was
one of them is my buddy Will's. That that cartoon for kids, Arthur.
Yeah,
he reviews that. That's one of them. It's called Elwood City Limits. Yeah, he's been nominated a bunch of times. He's never gotten an award yet, though. They're almost done. He's like, this is my last chance because we've only got a few episodes left. So if you're not voting for us, vote for Elwood City Limits. There's also one called The Afternoon Pint, one called Mike and Tristan, one called Skate Through Life, one called Nighttime Podcast. That one wins every year, this nighttime one.
That's the one that's about crimes in Halifax, right? Or whatever.
Oh, is it? I have no idea.
Halifax, like crimes or stories. I think that's the one where they talked about the glove guy and all that stuff.
Okay, and there's one called Sick Boy as well. Which
that's about like, the guy who's dying, isn't it? Isn't it the guy?
Yeah, it's about like being sick. Yeah,
I think it's like a guy with a super serious or deadly disease. Talking about it.
Yeah, probably. So most of these podcasts are probably a lot more serious than ours, except for maybe Will's. And Will's probably too, because it's about like Arthur and kids' messages. But, you know, X-Men has a lot of serious messaging too. We get serious around here when we want to. Yeah. Serious debates and things like that. And, you know, you can support our show at patreon.com/X-Men Review Show. Oh, you know what? I should bring up on here too before we get out of here, because I got to...
We really need to work on our sales pitch.
Just to clarify, we don't. The Sick Boy podcast is about a guy living with cystic fibrosis, so it's not it's not dying, but it's
that's good.
It's a rough disease, so
yeah,
a rough illness. I don't know. It's not a disease, but
what's the difference? Well, isn't it? I don't know.
Oh, maybe it is. I don't know.
Where's the classification there? I think it's a disease, but who knows? Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. I need to break out my Oxford dictionary to learn the difference.
Well, you don't have it handy?
Not normally. Yeah, there's this thing called the internet that has all the shit on it.
You don't say. Who came up with that?
Some guy.
Al Gore.
Al Gore. It's a series of tubes.
Yeah. A Cyclops was always cool. Check out that new design you can get on our Redbubble or our Patreon there. Art by Andre. And yes, Cyclops was always cool. So go get that on the merch of your choice. I'm going to get a t-shirt or something with Cyclops is cool on it. For sure. And you can, get your merch there at redbubble.com/people/X-Men Review Show/shop. I popped that P real hard for y'all. Contact us at xmenreviewshow@gmail.com, or, you know, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Hit us up on there. Don't hit us up on Twitch, but hit us up on Facebook and even YouTube. Actually, you can message on there. I'm starting to figure out how YouTube works a little better. I've even made a couple posts. Normally I just post videos on YouTube, but I actually made a couple posts. Find our audio only version wherever you get your podcasts, and please like, review, subscribe. Still want to see more reviews? That would be great. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what people think of this little show of ours. And you can check out our many various brother podcasts and sister podcasts at UF Podcasts.
Does it contain brothers?
Huh?
Because they contain brothers?
Yeah, Supermator brothers. Exactly.
Yeah, brothers.
I mean, for me, they're more like my Supermator cousins. Mm-hmm. But whatever.
I think I can call them cousins too, but not in the literal sense. Just in the my cousin
in the cool 90s slang.
That's right.
Cuz, what up, cuz?
Cuz.
Maybe not. All right. Well, catch you X time.
Yeah, you almost said it correctly. X time.
Whoops. Forgot I'm on mute. Here we go.
Well, that went well.
Yeah, and I thought we were really making a connection there.
That's awesome.